Hello, this is Tony Heller from RealClimateScience.com. I've got some suggestions about what to do this weekend. You could go to Portland, Oregon and promote violence and anarchy. Last month, Portland Mayor Wheeler disbanded the Gun Violence Reduction Unit, claiming it unfairly targeted blacks. In the week since, there's been a 380% increase in shootings compared with the same time last year. And not only has there been a big increase in shootings, but since the protests began at the end of May, the number of daily COVID-19 cases in Oregon has increased by a factor of more than 5. If you don't want to go to Portland, another Democratic-controlled paradise you could go to this weekend is Chicago, where they've had 477 shootings so far this month and a total of 95 homicides. But the residents are safe because the mayor says she won't let the president send troops in to stop the shootings. Mayor Lightfoot says that reducing violence is a form of terrorism. Another fun place you could go this weekend is to New York City, where the mayor's cutting back funding to the police department by $1 billion. There are lots of fun things to do in Democratic Party-controlled cities and states. But also remember that there are some things which you can't do this weekend, like singing in churches. And definitely do not play t-ball with your daughter in Colorado, because you might get arrested. Democratic politicians won't let you go to the movie this weekend, so you might have to go to a riot instead. And restaurants are right out. If you want some food, you might have to go down to your local store and take it right off the shelves, like those gentlemen in New York City were doing. Here in Cheyenne, Wyoming, nobody's going to the rodeo this weekend for the first time in 124 years. Government has determined that watching people ride horses is simply too dangerous. Rodeo isn't a safe activity, unlike tens of thousands of people rioting in the streets in Oregon. You definitely can't go to a baseball game this weekend unless you're a two-dimensional cardboard cutout. This is an ingenious idea which was originally thought up by the Beatles during the 1960s. Another thing you're not going to do this weekend is go to the opera, because Democratic governors have determined that singing is dangerous. I'm old enough to remember when we used to have museums, but they're almost all closed now, and about a third of them expect to be closed permanently. Definitely forget about church. That First Amendment to the Constitution does not apply when you have an upset politician. There's not a lot of things you can do in America this weekend besides riot, so you probably have a lot of time to kill. And a good way to do that is to get in the line for hours for a coronavirus test. That way you can ramp up the statistics and add to the hysteria to make sure that things are closed again next weekend. Apparently this is the new normal which Democrats have been telling us about. Toto thinks that half of the population has gone completely insane, and he thinks that we all need to get out and work really hard to make sure that they don't win the election in November. You can visit Toto on the web at realclimatescience.com. He's been pulling back the curtain on junk science and propaganda for a long time.